for training today about your first $10,000 client. My name's Kirk Duncan. Super excited to spend some time with you and share some of my experience and knowledge and wisdom with you that I've acquired over the last 19 years of being a coach. And my whole purpose of doing this training today is to help you get up to that next level because you can. You can get to that next level of coaching, whatever that next level is. And I'm going to put out in front of you a $10,000 client. Because to me, if you're coaching, then you're sooner or later going to reach the point where you can have a $10,000 client, and you can wait for the natural progress for that to happen, or you can escalate it. So my plan today is to help you escalate this process, because when I learned how to escalate this, it was a game changer for me. Super, super big game changer. So if you will, jump in the chat, go to your Zoom toolbar and jump in the chat and get in there and tell me where you're from. Where are you from? I'm out here in Eagle Mountain, Utah. It's out west of Lehigh, out here kind of on the edge of town. And I love it. Heard coyotes the other day. Heard coyotes the other day. I was outside at night and I was like, those are coyotes right up there on the hill, right where I go for my hike at nighttime. So hiking with the coyotes. Okay, Olympia, Washington. Wow, Benson, Utah. I actually don't know where Benson, Utah is. Where is that? Salt Lake, Houston, Texas. Hi, Sandra. Let's see. Beautiful Hooper, Utah. Where's Hooper, too? Where these are little towns, aren't they? From Texas. Good morning from Texas. And where else we have? We have Shelly, Idaho. Shelly from Shelly, Idaho. How did you do that, Shelly? Did you like pick that town just because because your name's Shelly, right? Benson is up in Cache Valley. Yeah, I'll turn my camera on in just a minute. West Jordan. Hi, Sandy. Mill Creek. I know where that's at. East Coast, South, where? South Carolina. Well, hello, Carolee. Good, good, good. Someone from Turkey on YouTube. Well, whoever is from Turkey, that is a long ways away. I think you win the prize for the furthest person away today. And wait a minute, isn't it like the middle of the night for you? So that's awesome. Great to be here. All right. Castle Rock, Colorado. Oh, this is great. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to make sure this is well worth your time so you can get some practical steps of what to do. Just want to help you out. Great. Okay, well, let's get started here today. Welcome. Glad you're here. And like I said, this next hour is going to be super valuable for you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my journey, of what I've learned along the way and what I did that made the biggest difference. So I looked this up last night. 8,250,000,000 people on the planet. And that's a lot of people. And guess what? Every one of them needs coaching. Sometime in their life, they're going to find themselves stuck, wandering. They're going to be lost, confused, not sure what to do. They're going to wish they had somebody to talk to. 8,250,000,000 people. That is a lot of people. And so guess what? You're the coach for that person. And you know what I love about this is the fact that, we can use technology and we can reach people all over the world at any time of day, just like what's happening right now. So I remind myself of this all the time, is that there is a lot of people in the world, and there's plenty of people for me to fit in the world of coaching, to be able to pass my message, my training, my experience on to them and be useful and valuable to somebody else. So I love this. I love that there is such great technology for us to be able to connect and be able to work with each other. So now the whole topic here that we're talking about, is your first $10,000 client. Now, I don't know if you've had a $10,000 client yet. Just give me a yes in the chat. If you've hit the level of a $10,000 client, jump in the chat and say yes. If you haven't, say no, just so I get a quick idea where you're at in your coaching. And you might be close. You might be like, oh, I want that really bad. I want that to happen. But give me a yes or a no or a not yet, just so I know where you're at. Because oh, it's quite the experience to go from a $2,500 client to a 5,000, 7,500 to a 10,000. It's quite the mind shift. And there's some very specific things I'm going to point out today that's going to help you in making this work for you. Because here's my thought. My thought is if you can be able to have a $10,000 client, if you can do that, you yourself have just reached a new high level of personal being, because it's going to require you to step it up in certain areas for that to happen. And so what I think is going to be the coolest thing is that not only will you have a $10,000 client, but also the kind of life you're living is just going to be so much better. And so there's so many wins here. You win, the client wins, everybody wins in this process. And so I'm super excited for this to happen for you. Yeah, I'll turn my camera on here in just a moment. So this $10,000 client, we're going to talk about the way you think about this, the way you're acting about this, the way your structure is about this. And hopefully you can get some insight here of what to do to make sure that you are on the path for this to happen. Now, what does a $10,000 client really want? What do they really want? What is it? What do they really, really want? Well, you would have to take a look at this and probably talk to some $10,000 clients to go, okay, what did you really want with that coaching program? Here's a couple of thoughts. Well, maybe a $10,000 client wants more content. Maybe they want more content. Maybe the $10,000 client wants to have, experience where they take the lead. You're coaching, but they take the lead. Maybe the $10,000 client wants, more structure. Maybe that's what they want. And maybe a $10,000 client actually wants more accountability. I hear that all the time. I hear people say, yeah, I just want more accountability. I just want to know more. I hear this, but this is not the right answers. A $10,000 client doesn't want more accountability. They don't want more structure. They don't want, to take the lead, and they definitely don't want more content. I'm going to show you what they really want. I'm going to show you. So today, as I coach you through this experience, and I'm going to coach you, I'm going to be bold and straight with you, because one of the reasons why I did not have a $10,000 client is because I was wrong in what I thought they wanted. And so I was trying to build a coaching program that wasn't even going to fit a $10,000 client, wasn't even going to work. And that's why I was not attracting $10,000 clients, or 15 or 20 or 30 or 50 or $100,000 client. At this point, my largest coaching package has been $108,000. So $108,000 coaching package, which, yes, I have a $100,000 client. And so I've had to learn and really listen for, what do these next level clients actually want? What do they actually want compared to what I think they want? See, that's the thing, is what do I think they want and what do they actually want? And so I had to surrender to the point of going, hold on a second. I don't know what a $10,000 client wants, because I was trying and I couldn't get to that level. And I got stuck about between the $5,000 and the $7,500 price range for quite a number of years. And I was like, why is this not growing because my time is maxed out and all my appointments are full. I really should be raising my price because the demand is so high. And so it's like, oh, what is wrong with this? And I quickly found out that as I struggled, as I started to nail down and I started to talk to people and who had, higher paying clients, and I was like, wow, I am going the wrong way with this. And I always thought I was going the right way, and I wasn't. So once I found out what it was, and I quickly realized, like, wow, sure glad I talked to people about their clients and what their clients want. And that's a pro tip for you. If you know other coaches and if they have higher paying clients than you do, you want to ask, hey, what did your client want from you? So if you get a chance to ask other coaches, that would be a great question to ask is like, hey, what did your client actually really want? And that is like extremely valuable information. It doesn't take away from their business, or they're not giving away company secrets because there's a different level of mindset. You're going to find out that of what they actually want. And I'll give you the answers here later in this training of what they actually want. I'll give you the list of what they want. It's not a long list, but it's a different list than what you thought. So, okay, so here we go. So I'm going to show, I'm going to walk you through some things here today. And so what I want to help you with today is help you with the gap in between where you're at and where your $10,000 client is. Like, what are the missing pieces? And what can you do to be able to fill that gap in so there can be a connection between you and people who perform and live at this $10,000 level? One of the thoughts you might have is that, people don't have $10,000. Yeah, there's a lot of people with money. If you're struggling with money, it doesn't mean everybody else is struggling with money. Usually people who struggle with money end up talking to people who struggle with money. Because people who have money don't talk about struggling with money. They don't talk about it. So usually if you're talking to somebody else who's struggling with money, it's because, of course, they're struggling with money. And so it's going to shock you to find out that there's a lot of people who have money. And so it's not a shortage of people to have money. Your circle of conversations or your circle of connections just might be with people who are struggling with money. And so that might mean you need to step into another circle of people and find out that, no, actually people have money and they know where to get money and they can get money to be able to do things to help them solve their problems. And when people have money, they are ready and willing to pay for help to solve problems, because once they hit $10,000 they're willing to spend, they got things they want to do. And so they're willing to drop that $10,000 for a coach. And why did I pick 10,000? Well, because for some reason, when it comes to coaching, there's this world of thinking and this world of clients that between 0 and 10, and then between 10 and 20, and then between 20 and 40, and then 40 and 60. So there's like these different levels of thinkers and different levels of performance. And so when she hit the $10,000 level, it's things change. These are different types of thinkers. And there's no good or bad. There's no comparison between the different levels. It's that there's just this other level of conversation that starts to happen. So nobody's bad in any one of these levels at all. It's just a different way of thinking. There really is different levels of thinking. And that's why people exist at different levels of income and different levels of resources, because of the way they think. It's different levels of thinkers, and nobody's bad. Nobody's comparing anybody to anywhere in this whole process. It's just different, just different. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you. Let me go back here. Okay, why would someone spend $10,000 for a coach? That just seems ridiculous. It just seems ridiculous. Like, why would they do that? Why would somebody drop $10,000? And sometimes what happens is to the coach, to you, is that if you are not willing to spend $10,000 for a coach, you can't enroll somebody to spend $10,000 with you. So here's a really good question to ponder on. Why would you spend $10,000 on a coach? Why would you do it? Do you have anything in your life that's a struggle or a problem that's worth spending $10,000 to solve? Now, this is where the thinking comes out and kind of gets put on the kitchen table. It's like, wait a minute, would I spend $10,000 to have a coach? And if I did, what kind of coach would I hire for $10,000? Would I do this? Because if I won't spend $10,000 on a coach, how am I going to enroll somebody to spend $10,000 on me? Because I'm a coach, right? So it's like if I'm not going to do it, but I want other people to do it, it's like, wait a second. Wait, like what? That's a little lopsided. You want them to spend $10,000 with you, but would you spend 10,000? Would you do it? Is there something that you want bad enough? There's something that you're willing to risk everything to sacrifice probably your very last dollar to buy, to pay for, to hire a coach? Is there anything you would do that for? Any skill, any ability, any type of insight that would matter to you, right? So part of my part of my breakthrough of having a $10,000 client is I had to start thinking like, okay, what's worth $10,000 to me? What is worth it to me to invest 10,000? And then maybe that I hope that that investment I could get a return on that investment. You know, like maybe, oh, what would that be? Like what would matter that much to me? Now I use the word investment, right? Because hopefully the investment you get a return on investment, right? Like a return. Like you spend 10,000 and you learn a skill and then you do the skill and then you get $10,000 back, or you are able to earn $10,000 back in some way or save $10,000 somewhere. And so now that $10,000 investment was worth it because you just got 10,000 back or you saved 10,000 somewhere else. And it's like, that was worth it. Now, I'm like I said, I'm going to just talk straight. I'm not going to filter like I usually do. Today is not a filtering day. Today is a talk straight day. So when I've had some coaching appointments in the last year where the client specifically said, Kirk, help me get a $10,000 client. I said, okay, buckle up. And they're like, all right, I'm ready. Let's do it. And so they wanted to acquire a $10,000 client. And it's like, all right, let me show you how you do this. And one of the components is I ask them, the last investment that you made as a coach, did you do what you learned in the last investment, in the class, the workshop, the online course, the book, the seminar, the coach, whatever you invested in last, did you do the work and get a return on your investment? Did you do it? Did you create a return on your investment? I asked them that. And I said, okay, and if they say, well, I bought a book. Okay, how much was the book? And they go, oh, it's $25. Okay, did you use something in that book and earn $25 back specifically from what you learned in that book? And usually the answer is no. I just read the book. I said, okay, you read the book, but you didn't use the content? No, it was great. I just learned a lot. But you didn't specifically use anything and actually earn $25 back. No, I can't see anywhere where that happened. I said, okay, did you invest in an online course? Yeah, I spent $500 for an online course. Did you use the content and earn $500 back? No, because I'm still in the middle of the course I bought 6 months ago. Oh, so you're not even using the content? No. Okay, did you hire a coach in the last couple of years? Well, yeah, I did. Did you use what they taught you to get a return on your investment? And they're like, oh, well, I learned a lot and then I did it for a little bit and then I fell off the wagon. I said, okay, so you didn't get a return on investment either. And they said, nope. I said, okay, just so you know, you're not going to get a $10,000 client. And usually the person I'm coaching, they're like, wait a minute, why does that matter? I said, because you're about ready to sell a $10,000 program, but you personally don't have the mindset or energy that what you buy, you don't do the work to get an investment back. You don't even do it yourself. You're not even getting a return on your investment. So when you go to pitch your $10,000 coaching program to somebody and they want to get a return on their investment, you're not even a person who produces a return on your own investments. You're not even getting a return. You don't even quantify it, add it up. You don't even notice if you even made money or got better or improved on what you purchased. You don't even know if you got a return on your investment, but yet you're going to sell a $10,000 thing, a package to somebody else, and you don't even know how they're going to get a return on their investment because you don't even know yours. And this has been kind of like a hard thing for coaches to swallow is that they're like, no, I just want to sell a $10,000 coaching program so I can make money. And I go, see, you're ripping off people. Knock it off. Quit trying to sell stuff just to make money. You're ripping off the consumer. Coaching needs to give people an opportunity to get a return on their investment. And if you're selling coaching just to make money and you're not thinking about your client's return on investment, then get out of the industry. Get out of the industry. If you're just in it to just sell and make money, you're scamming people. You're a coach, you're a scammer coach. And you're taking advantage of people and you're ripping people off because you're selling something that won't give them a return on their investment. And I've had to go pretty hard against some coaches to tell them like, "Hey, you're bringing the whole coaching industry down. You're giving it a bad name because you're just selling it. You're not even caring if they have a return on their investment. You're not even coaching them in a way that will give them a return on their investment." Okay, so that's that kind of person. But see, you as a coach, me as a coach, I gotta first be a really good student. For me to be a great coach and be able to fulfill a $10,000 coaching program and be able to sell a $10,000 coaching program, I got to be a good student. Like if I buy a book and I'm learning from that book, I'm going to pick something out of that book and I am going to get a return on my investment. For example, for example, oh, I was going to grab it, but it's not. I took it upstairs. I have this book. It's called the Money Bible. And in this book cost me like I think $15. I think it cost me $15. And oh, there it is. Hold on. Okay, this is the book. Okay, I've read this book 14 times. This book was like, what? I think it's 15 bucks. Where's the number? Oh, it doesn't have it. Oh, sorry. It is $9. It's $9. So here's this $9 book, right? And I get this book and I'm like, okay, I'm going to earn my $9 back. I know this seems ridiculous. Like, what? You're going to worry about a $9 book? And I'm like, no, I'm not worried about a $9 book. I said, what I want is I want to learn and apply and get a return. Like, I want to be like, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to use this. I'm going to change and I'm going to find the change or I'm going to get a return on my investment or I'm going to save money or something, but I'm going to watch for the return on my investment because I buy the book for $9 and then I sit and read it. And my value right now, I'm at the way I calculate it with my business and everything like that. I'm about $1,000 an hour. And so wherever I spend my time better be very important. So I get this book and I'm going to spend time to read it. So it's costing me this time to read this book. So I get to page 40 and there's this massive aha. And so I write in the margins, of the book, I write over here my aha and I put a date. And I'm like, I think that paragraph just changed me. That just changed my thinking. And I'm going to apply that thinking. And then I'm going to come back to this paragraph and I'm going to write what the results were for what I just learned from this book. So the book cost me $9, right? So then, I go and I do my work. And then 9 months later, I have this massive breakthrough and just this huge success that happens. And I'm like now pondering what caused me, what are the elements that caused me to have this breakthrough? And what is recalled in my mind is that paragraph in that book is what started this whole process. So I go back to the book and then I get to write in the book. I get to write in the book because when I first read it, it was in June. No, wait, no, it's September, October, November, December. September, I read it. And then in the following June, there was this additional $58,000 that I exceeded my normal numbers and I exceeded it by $58,000. And I was like, what changed this? And it's like that paragraph of the book. So I went back to the book and right here in the margins, I wrote $58,000. And so to me, if I care about my return on investment, then I'm going to build a coaching program that will provide a return on investment. Now, I can't make people do the work, but I know that my $10,000 coaching program will give someone a $10,000 return. I know it because I live this way. If I'm going to hire a coach, I'm going to get a return on my investment. If I'm going to buy a book, I'm going to get a return on my investment. And I'm going to pay attention to what this education, what this skill did for me. So as a coach, when I build a $10,000 coaching program or a 20 or a 50 or $100,000 coaching program, I know it can produce a return because I'm already living that way as a student. Is I'm going to be a good student and I'm going to do what I've learned until I get a return. But that's not everybody, and that's not every coach. So I'm going to cause you right now to check yourself as a coach. If you're not practicing what your coach has taught you or what that book taught you or that online program taught you, if you're not using the content with the intention to get a return on your investment in some way, then you're not going to do very well as a personal coach. You're just not. Content needs to be thought about. What will this do for the client that will produce a return on their investment? That's what you want to be thinking. How can I produce a return on their investment? How can this program be built in a way that's going to give them a return on their investment? And the best way for you to figure that out is from the things that you've purchased yourself. Now, we're all human and we buy things and we kind of dabble and we kind of learn and then we don't really follow through and we don't really do the work. And so I'm going to say a majority of coaches are not living a life of return on their investment. They keep spending and spending and learning, but they're not taking time with what they've actually learned to quantify, did I get a return on my investment? Am I using this technique, this tool, this program, this process, this system enough to get a return on my investment? Now, over the course of my life, I've invested a lot of money into my personal development. And I would have to say I'm about 70% of those programs, I got a return on my investment. 10% of them were a joke. They were just stupid. I can't believe I bought it. It was just a mess. It was a joke. The person was a joke. Their content was a joke. And I just quit their stuff within days and sometimes even just weeks. And it's just like, you know what? I'm done. I can already tell you totally deceived me when I bought this. So that's sad. But there's about 10, 15% of those programs that it's like, you totally lied in how you sold this program to me. So I got 70% there, 10 to 15% there. And I got this other percent of like, well, I just didn't do the work. It just really wasn't the right timing for things. But I want to be a great coach. I know this is my life calling. I know it's my life calling to teach people, to inspire people, to show up, to make a difference. But that means in my own personal life, what am I doing to get a return on my investment? Am I using the content in a way that I can see measurable results? If I read this book, can I see measurable results? If I buy that online program, can I see measurable results? Am I tracking my own results? Because if I don't track where I'm getting education and how I'm applying it and my results, then how am I going to coach somebody else with the education I'm providing for them and then their measurable results? Like, this is a missing piece in all these new coaches popping up all over the world, is they're not living this way. And that's why there's so many really unprepared, uneducated coaches. They have a good, strong desire, but the programs they're buying to teach them about being a coach are not addressing this real deep core portion of being a great coach. I mean, back up like 500 years. Back up 500 years. Mentors and coaches were people who knew what they were doing because they were producing results. They knew what they were doing. But today, you can buy a coaching certificate for $97. What what in the world? You can buy a coaching certificate by watching one video, and then they'll print this coaching certificate. That is an absolute deceptive process. There are so many coaching certificates that are completely deceiving. It makes them feel like they're a coach, and then they wonder why people won't hire them. I met a person recently who has 9 coaching certificates and 0 clients because they went to try to gather all these certificates to try to make them smart. And I asked him, I go, are you doing what the book is doing that you're reading? Are you doing the online course? Are you producing results? And like, I don't know if I'm producing results. Like, this is not I know it's not a common theme. I'm not mad or busting anybody on this, but I'm just saying, if you want to have a $10,000 client, $15,000 client, $20,000 client, maybe you want a $50,000 client, but we're starting out with getting you to 10. You start off in your own personal life by paying attention to where you're investing into education. And if you are not using that content in a way to get your results, you got to figure out what's up with you. What's going on with you? Especially if the place you invested, you bought into their program, if their company has been around for longer than 5 years, then that's a source to be trusted. Usually people that are cheaters and just selling junk and crap, they don't last longer than 2 or 3 years because they get found out and they get busted. And so then they go away. So if you're buying a program from somebody who's been around for 5 years, the public has tested them. They have tested it. And if they're still going strong, there's something about it. Now, my company, we're still going strong at 19 years. So my threshold is 5. They got to at least be going in business for at least 5 years for me to know, like, okay, this is some trusted content. And so I've been going for 19 years. So I know what I teach produces results, but I can't say that the person is using it. I can't say they're being consistent because I can't control people, and I choose not to control people. That's on their own doing. But I know that my content produces results because I use it in my own life and I know it produces. That's why I can have a $10,000 client. You are on the path of becoming a fantastic coach, but you need to pay attention to where you're getting your education, if it's a book, an online course, a coach, whatever you're doing, whatever you're learning, track where your measurable results are coming from that content or that coach or that course. Pay attention to how it's improving your life. This is the number one key element to make you a great coach and to have high paying clients and to have your schedule full, is because you pay attention. This is my education. These are my efforts. These are my results. Education, efforts, results. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm producing. Learn, do, produce. Learn, do, produce. Because if you're not paying attention to that, you're not being the kind of coach that somebody wants to work with at $10,000. Because at $10,000, they want to learn, they want to produce, and they want to have results. They want that. But if you're not doing it, then you can't help them do it. If you're not paying attention to it, you can't help them pay attention to it. So most coaches think my content has to be better. No, it's not your content. No, I'm a perfect example of that. I was having $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 coaches, and I had no written content, no website. I had no website, no business card, no worksheets, no framework, no anything. $25,000 clients. And my schedule is packed. Packed, meaning like 20 clients at $25,000. Packed. So nobody's going to convince me that you got to have a website, you have to have a brand, you have to have an avatar, you have to have this. And I'm like, whatever. No, what you need to pay attention to is what's the education? What's the efforts? What's the results? It's very basic foundational principles of change. So for you in your personal life, this is where you got to pay attention to what book are you reading and where are you applying that book? What principle from that book are you applying? And watch for the change that now makes for you. If you can see that paragraph, and then you're using this paragraph, and then you're seeing what that paragraph can do for you, and you're seeing the change, now you're on the right path. Because you're learning, you're applying, and now you're looking and finding and quantifying the results. That's going to put you on the path of a fantastic coach. That's going to raise your quality. That's going to raise the demand for you because you're somebody who pays attention to education, application of education, and now the results of that education. That's what people want. That's what $10,000, $20,000 clients want, is they want somebody to work with who knows the education. What do I got to do? How do I do this? And then help me see the results. So you got to be doing it first. You got to be doing it first. And so as a coach, you might be thinking, I got to develop better content. I got to make it fancier. I got to make a website. I got to make funnels. I got to go make funnels. Whatever. So funny. You're going to get blindsided by the funnels and the websites and the colors and the branding. Stop it. Stop it. Practice being a student. Practice being a student. Take the content, specifically apply it in your life, quantify, see, document the results from that content you applied and it produced a result. That is the foundation of coaching. And people will feel that from you. They will feel that you pay attention to education, you pay attention to application, meaning you're doing the effort and you know how to see results. Because guess what the public struggles with? They don't know how to apply what they learn, and they don't know how to see results. They can't even see change. They don't like change. They're very confused in all three of these areas. And so when you're doing it, you're going to stand out. You're going to have a different vibe, a different feeling about you. And then they're going to be like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a coach. Really? Like, what do you do? And they're feeling like, hey, you're good at something. You can produce results. You can take a book and you can turn it into a result in your life. Even a $9 book, a $9 book, a $9 book that produces $58,000 because I applied the paragraph on page 40. And I could show you all kinds of books that I have notes of like circled paragraphs, like that's the paragraph, that's the chapter, that's the book. And that's $10, $20 seminars. And then I have online courses that I bought. And then I have coaches I've hired that if I'm going to spend money on a coach, I'm not backing down on what they taught me to do until I get a return on my investment. It's up to me to produce the return on investment, not the coach to make me have a return on the coach does not need to hold me accountable. Really, when we're really mature, we don't need somebody to hold us accountable. We're already reporting. We don't need somebody to ask for a reporting. So that's another part of your life that needs to step up. If you currently have a coach right now and that coach has to ask you for an update, if that coach has to ask you to tell you what's going on, you're not being a good student. You're not even stepping into real student. You're just a watcher. You're just going to learn and watch and hover back and wait till somebody asks you to do something. You're not going to make it if you're that way. You're not going to make it in coaching, and life is going to constantly just whoop you. If somebody else has to ask you to update them, if they have to ask you to report or ask you, how are you doing? And you did not update your coach, you are going to struggle as a coach because great coaches don't wait to be asked for an update. They're already updating their coach. They're already filling the coach in. They're already sending the details to them. They're already like keeping track, sending it. They are a good student. Great coaches are fantastic students. They are. They're the fantastic students. So another upgrade you get to have as a coach is be a better student. And if it's an online course, then get back in it. Get back on track with what's going on. If it's a book you put down, get back to reading it. If you have a coach and you've been kind of like hanging back and waiting for the coach to fix you, and you're a coach, you're not going to make it as a coach. No, you got to step it up and be ahead of that coach. Update that coach. Tell the coaches what's going on. Send them snapshots of your tracking sheet. Send them snapshots of what's going on. Be more responsible and accountable to them. If you have to hire a coach to hold you accountable, are you still a teenager? What are you? If you're really going to hire a coach to keep you accountable, you got other problems. So if you're a coach and you need a coach to hold you accountable, no, you do not need somebody to babysit you. You need to hold yourself accountable and report to the coach. Now, I told you I'm going to talk straight to you. You need to know why you can't have a $10,000 client. But once you start holding yourself accountable and tracking your efforts, your education, and your results and your success stories, and you're sending it to your coach, okay, now you're on the path to a $10,000 coach because you're doing it yourself. You don't need somebody else to do it to you. When somebody says, hey, I want you to hold me accountable, then I tell them, you know what? I don't think I'm your right coach. If I have to hold you accountable, what? Why? No, my kids are all grown up. They've moved out. I don't need another teenager. I'm not going to ask you, did you do your thing? Did you do your thing? I'm not going to do that. You tell me what you're doing. Now, maybe you disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have a $10,000 client, then these things are very important for you to understand. There's some levels of stepping up in our living and the way we act and the way we do things that has to change. You have the opportunity to have a $10,000 coach, but you might have some lifestyle things that are a little bit on the lazy side, and you're a little bit like wanting somebody else to fix you or come along and save you. That's not real coaching today. So be a better student so you can be a better coach. So whatever you're doing, even if it's down to reading a book, circle the paragraph that's going to make the difference. And then actively take action on that paragraph. And then track your results that week from that paragraph. If you do that, if you at the base level, the small level of read a book, circle a paragraph, actively play that paragraph out at the end of the week, review the week, see what changed because you were thinking of that paragraph and you attempted to apply that paragraph. I'm not even talking chapter, I'm talking paragraph. Just a paragraph in a book can generate $58,000 in your life if you are applying it with intention of upgrading your life. So this is living a producer lifestyle. Sometimes people read books because they're consumers. That's all they're doing. They're just consuming. They don't really want to change. They just want entertainment. They just want to be, have their brain stimulated, and that's it. But I know I'm a producer, and I want to be a super producer. And there's consumer, producer, super producer. And so a super producer can produce enough for other people, like to hire a team or to hire other people to work for you in different ways, or to hire coaches and things like this. So you can be a super producer. I like being a super producer, but that means I need to know what I'm learning, directly apply that at the end of the week, come back, track, see where my improvements have come from. Me being a better student in my own education, my own learning, my own what I'm doing, then I become a better coach, because that's the kind of energy you give off, is learn, apply, and get results. And that's what people want at $10,000 level. They want results. And so they want results. So they want results. So they want to know how to apply, and they want to know what to learn. But because you've been doing it, that's easy to coach a $10,000 client because it's something you're already doing. So when I was stuck at $7,500, $7,500, and I could not get to the 10,000, I realized it's me that has to change, not my content. So I quit working on my content. I'm like, I'm done with trying to fix my content and make it pretty and like how I draw diagrams, because I didn't have anything written, but I had thoughts about how I lead people and how I coach people. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to try to make my content better. I got to be a better student. I've got to be a better student. And so then I began becoming a better student, and then things started to change. And it was so weird because it's like, wait, I'm not working on my coaching business, but it's growing. And I just got my first $10,000 client. It's like, nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to believe me. And at that point in my life, I was a terrible salesperson. I would, I was terrible. I was so clunky and so I would shake and be so nervous, and say the word 10,000 was so hard for me. And when the person was like, "So how much is your program?" Just to even say 10,000 was so ah, it was so weird. But they were interested, and they kept saying, "No, wait, what do we do in this? How does?" And I kept saying, "Why are you interested? Why don't you just do my $7,500 program?" They're like, "No, tell me about your 10." I'm like, "Why is this person pressing for my 10,000?" And I said, "Okay, so this is what we do. This is how we do it." And they're asking me questions, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to do that." I was like, "Wow, that was like the worst presentation ever." But they kept pressing for it. And when I went home that night, I was like, "What? What happened?" And of all the things I could figure out, I'm like, is it because I'm being a better student? Is that really the thing? I guess so. So I lay that out to you because it's already June of 2025. It's already June. And there are so many great people you coach. Really? Okay, so that's my I'll get off the soapbox on that one right now. Okay, so I'm a hybrid coach, which means I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, I work on the inside of a person, I work on the outside in their outside world. I'm also a very structured coach at this point in my life, and also very intuitive. So this is my hybrid-ishness of me being a coach. And my plan, I don't know what your plan is, but my plan is to become the best coach that person has ever met. I just want to be the best coach that they ever met, that they will never forget me. that if they see me in the grocery store, they'll go, Kirk, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in 15 years. I want to be memorable, right? I want to be able to be memorable in what I do. Okay, something to consider is the dynamics of somebody's life. Every human being has similar categories, sometimes a little variations, other unique little categories, but they generally have these particular categories, and somewhere they will struggle in one of them. Either it's love and forgiveness, or their direction in life, or their time management, money management, how they accomplish things, their goals, relationships, health and fitness, or their systems and patterns in life. This is very common, very foundational to the dynamics of people. So, as a coach, you most likely are going to end up coaching people in these foundational categories. And so, any person you meet, you're like, oh, they all have the same categories. And so, it's not hard to go, well, here's a person, and I bet you they're struggling in one or two of these areas. So, it's kind of like everybody has a report card about where they're at. And so then we look at it and go, okay, well, where are you struggling? Okay, great, let's work on that. And then coaching then requires a change of perception or education, and now the application of that to the point that they get a result. So coaching has some real baseline common principles of it. No matter how a person writes their program, the psychology is the same. We have categories. Maybe some of these categories are struggling, and those struggles tend to wear on us and they tend to cost more energy. And so as coaches, we're looking through their report card to see where they're struggling the most and go, oh, you're struggling the most with goals. All right, let's work on goals. Or we could work on your direction in life. But we can do assessments on people to see where they're at. So all coaching is the same at $2,500 or $5,000 or at $10,000. The categories are the same, but you as the coach can be different. That's what I hope you get for this next part is all coaching still addresses the same categories. $10,000 coach client or a $1,000 coach client, still the same categories. And there's more than this, but this is a sample. Still the same categories. So all coaching programs on the whole entire planet address the same categories. There's not like some secret categories. There's no secret categories. They're all the same. But what's different is the coach. So this is why I'm pointing at you to be able to generate this $10,000 coach is if you're working on your content, you're working on something that you'll work on for the next 100 years. You're going to be constantly updating your content, but that's not what's going to acquire a $10,000 client. What's going to acquire a $10,000 client is you, how you approach it. And I just gave you some great secrets of what that looks like to be able to make that happen. Now, this right here, rookie mistakes I've made along the way. Here's my 7. I try to give people too much content. I try to make it more complex and mysterious and just, it's like I spent way too many years doing this. And then number 3, I thought I need to take on their problems or I need to work longer for these people. I need to like really work hard for them or I need to micromanage my clients. What are you doing? What did you do? How did you do that? Or I took on the responsibility of their life. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to get a higher paid client. Or maybe I'm just supposed to talk more during the appointment. And these are just rookie mistakes that I kept traveling through and doing. But then I realized it's like, okay, hold on. What does the client really want? They want clarity. Number 1, $10,000 client, they are not clear. They want deep conversation. All that means is let them talk. Let them share. Listen. They want you to personalize the experience with them, which means listen to them. Hear what they really want to work on instead of you telling them what to work on. And the other thing they want is they want something to change, finally change. They want to break through that pattern, or they want to break through that belief, or they want to break through those feelings. They want to get through what they're up against. And so when I found this out, what a $10,000 client wants, it's like, oh wow. Okay, do I have clarity? I need to get clarity. Am I open to having deep conversations? Will I talk to somebody about my troubles? Because if I won't talk, then maybe that's why other people won't talk to me deeply. Okay, am I taking care of myself? I got to take better care of myself because if I'm going to have a $10,000 client, I got to be doing these too. I got to be taking care of myself. I got to be able to have someone I am open to that can tell them really what my struggle is and get help. I need to have clarity where I'm going, what I'm doing. And then can I create a breakthrough for myself? When's the last time I had a breakthrough? I need a breakthrough. If I'm going to help clients have a breakthrough, wait a minute, where's mine? If I can't create a breakthrough, maybe I need to get a coach to help me have a breakthrough. Because then if I could have a breakthrough, I could help my clients have a breakthrough. So if this is what a $10,000 client wants, I I wonder if I could do this for myself. Could I map my life out? Could I open up and share feelings and thoughts that I usually don't talk about? Who could I talk to be that way? Can I take care of myself? Self-care. Do I really check myself to see if I'm, how I'm doing? And then I can learn and do techniques, but do they create breakthroughs? So maybe I could do it myself. And you can, but these are things to consider. If this is what a $10,000 client wants, I got to look at myself and go, can I do it too? Because if I can't do these, well, it makes sense why a $10,000 client's not going to find me because I can't even do it. I can't do to myself what they want me to do to them. And I don't know if you're striving for a $10,000 client. Maybe you thought it was easier and you're thinking I'm going to give you some kind of easy path and you don't have to change. No, that's not how it works. But 10,000 is a new level. And imagine if you had clarity, if you could have deep conversations and open up and share. What if you could have good attention on yourself and take care of yourself and actually do your personal routine every day? What if you could have breakthroughs every week where you don't go back to old habits, you don't go back to the old things you're doing? You would change. And because you're feeling this change of clarity, opening up, taking care of yourself, having breakthroughs, because you're doing it, you're going to attract $10,000 clients because that's what they're looking for. That's what they'll pay for. They're like, wait, you're breaking through in your own personal life? I want that. Well, how much is your program? Oh, it's 10,000. Wait, you're really doing well. Like you're really doing good. I can tell your energy is amazing. Well, what do you do? I'm a coach. Well, how much is that? Oh, it's 10,000. Wow, you are deep. I can tell you know a lot. You're very open and transparent. What are you? Oh, I'm a coach. Well, what does that look like? Oh, it's a $10,000 program. Wow, you're very clear about where you're going, your life, and where you're at, and what's next. I want that. Oh, I can help you with that. It's a $10,000 program, and it all comes together. So this is what a $10,000 client wants. The question is, are you willing to do the work? If you're not willing to do this work, it's okay. You don't have to do it. Nobody has to do anything. There's no have tos. But I want to be the best coach they ever met. And I love coaching. And I know this is my gig. And I know this is what God's asked me to do. And he's like, figure it out, Kirk. Keep training. And it's like, oh, where can I be better? And then I find out this is what the clients want. And it's like, wow, I gotta practice this. So when I started practicing clarity exercises, or I started opening up to other people that I chose to talk to, and I started taking better care of myself, and I started creating my own mini breakthroughs, then I started to have 10,000 clients. I didn't have to master each one of these. I just needed to start them. I just start it. That takes some that takes some energy, right? But it's doable. It's doable. I hope you get a screenshot of this because that's what they want. And if I can't produce it myself, I can't deliver it. I can't deliver it. Sure, the client still wants content and systems and techniques, but they're today, this $10,000 client, this is the four things they want the most. Once you get into the conversation, once they calm down and connect you, you'll find out they want this. They want it. And guess what? You want it too. So do I. I want clarity. I want to open up and share deeply so I can heal. I want to take care of myself. I want to have breakthroughs. We all want it when we finally get down to it, like deep down inside, and we're willing to spend $10,000 because we know what clarity will do. We know what deep healing will do. We know what taking care of ourselves will do. We know what breakthroughs will do. We'll move on to the next level. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, another thing. Oh my gosh, it's already 9 o'clock. Another thing that's super, I'm going to go over a few minutes. I just am. I got on my soapbox. I took off like crazy. So another thing about money, here's something about money. Even though you think 10,000 and you're like, oh, I just would love to have that. And I'd love to work with the people. Even though you're trying to think it, it doesn't mean that your whole body is in alignment. That's the weird part. It's like, wait, no, if I think it, I'm okay. Well, you might have a positive, out here like, yeah, I really want this. But deep inside somewhere, you might have some negatives attached to it. There might be some negatives about money or some negatives about people, even though you're like, no, I really want to do this. Well, sometimes in the back of our mind, we've got memories and past experiences that taint our issues with money and taint our issues with people. And they kind of trip us up. So my favorite process to make this better, like really to like pull my thinking, my vision, my language, and my feelings together, like to pull me together. My favorite all-time produce results technique that I love is to use a story. And I can't tell you how many clients I've had who use a story that changes their outcome. Working with the $10,000 clients that I have right now is an absolute joy. Telling a story to yourself helps pull up the negatives just to be able to be cleared from your mind, your body, your soul, to clear these negatives out so you can supercharge your mind, your vision, your language, and your feelings to be in alignment with the story. All-time favorite. And if I was coaching you and you're like on an appointment with me and you're like, hey, I help me out with my story. And I know people who use stories, but they don't let the story in. They read it, but they're not actually actively trying to absorb it. Like it's a mental programming process. But this is a beautiful story. This is a story you read and you're reading it because it hasn't happened yet and you're trying to prime or program your mind to believe that it's possible. Working with the $10,000 clients I have right now is an absolute joy. I found them through the referrals from people that I met and they connected us effortlessly. Holding my 1-hour appointments using a video conferencing program on my computer has saved me so much time and money. I can connect to them so deeply using this platform. My clients do their action steps, work through their obstacles, and are accomplishing their goals. They report their progress to me each week, keeping track of their progress and the notes and I have from our appointments. A simple process I use for my Google Drive. My scheduling services make it easy for my clients to choose what appointments they want, and it works automatically. It is fantastic to have 5 great coaching sessions that are easy to share. That's like 5 a week, like 1 a day. My clients love the process and give me great testimonials. So this paragraph represents a $10,000 client using systems that are easy to function and be able to show that my schedule does not have to be jam-packed. This is a beautiful story, easy to read, maybe tough to absorb. Because maybe inside your head, it's like, no, it has to be hard. No, I can't have $10,000. maybe you have issues with money. It's very common, very normal to have issues with money. Maybe you want to be really intuitive with people. You're like, oh, I just wish I was more intuitive. Some people realize like, wow, I'm good at coaching content, but I'm not good at intuition. It's like sensing what they're not saying, sensing what's behind the scenes, really trying to, being able to find the truth of what's going on, that intuition. But it's very common to be struggling with intuition and with money. And that's very normal. But having a story helps root out those negativities and so that this positive story can get in. But it does take a bit if it's new to you. But it's what I used. It's what I used. I could tell you story after story after story how using a paragraph or a story has ultimately changed the functions of my mind about money. But I did not come pre-programmed about 10,000. That was a big one for me. So I had to practice being a better student, and I had to practice programming my mind for 10,000. So I'd take a picture of this. If you don't have a story you use, take a picture of this, use it every day. Pretend like it's lotion and you're absorbing it, or pretend like it's a drink of water and you're just consuming it. Pretend like it's something you're eating and your body consumes it and gets power from it. But pretend like this is something you consume and it gives you power and it gives your mind clarity and direction. Because usually a $10,000 client is going to rack your mental programming when it comes to money and numbers. And it's like, wait a second, am I worth this? Am I valuable enough for this? That's why we need to program our brain every day, every single day. And I know you know this. I'm just going to say it again. Our mind has particular settings, just like the thermostat on the wall in our home. And we need to be the master of the setting machine. And these settings inside of our head are generally sometimes set low. And so that's why we use a story like this to amp up our setting from $1,000 clients to 10,000. And 10,000 is too big, put 3 or 5 or 7. But work towards the next level because it causes us to reprogram ourselves and get better as human beings. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful process. Okay, so get a picture of this, something you can use today and use now. But you might want to consider getting a book on money or a book on intuition. If that's, if you're like, oh, maybe I should do that. And I would highly suggest to study and learn how to be more intuitive and also study and learn about the psychology of money. 2 topics really important for you as a coach to be better at because your clients are going to ask your help in these 2 areas sooner or later. And it'll help you become a better coach. Okay, so I'm going to skip forward here. I'm going to skip forward because I wanted to make sure I was doing good on keeping this to an hour. And I'm so talkative. I just keep talking. I got so many great things to share with you. So let's just skip forward to this. I'm going to say it again. Your ability to connect to people is going to come from your ability to be more accountable to yourself and to be able to learn, apply the learning, check your results. Like that needs to start today. What are you actually intentionally using today as education to help you become better? It's going to take you from a normal coach to becoming a really top level coach if you'll practice that return on your investment like I shared with you earlier. Now, I do have 2 intuition training videos that I just recently created like 2 weeks ago. These are brand new, hot off the press. One is about the 7 struggles that leaders have with intuition. And great insight. It's 21 minutes long. And then this other video here about inner awareness and outer perception. Another fantastic training video that is also 21 minutes long. And so I just barely created these just a couple weeks ago. So it's fresh, hot off the press, with insights that I personally use all the time. And I also have this training video on money that I think would be really valuable to you. And so this one is 32 minutes long. So these three videos here, I think would be very valuable to you. And if you've been around me, and you're like, oh wow, I want to, I love these videos. I love these webinars. I give you as much as I can in the time frame I have, and then I got to go. But if I could, I'd stay here for days. So here's the thing is I know my results work. I know they work. I get testimonials all the time. I have thousands and thousands of testimonials that what I teach works. And but I can't make people do it. But I have no question it works. And the reason why I know I'm producing content that works is because I learn content and apply it and it changes my life. So that's the kind of guy I am, is I'm not going to produce anything that doesn't work. It's going to work, and it works. So here's my invitation, to, if there's more that you want to be around me and learn more from me, here's an invitation for you. So what you do, if you would like some support, some insight, I have different levels of training programs, extremely affordable group coaching courses, and also higher level courses and even one-on-one coaching. I'm not sure exactly what you need from me or my team yet to help you move to your next level, but I want you to go to this link. And if you're already in the Coach Fast Track program, then there's no necessary reason for you to go and schedule an appointment because you're already in the Coach Fast Track program. But if you're not, then you might want to do this. Schedule an appointment, a one-on-one strategy session, to find out where you're at. What kind of training do you need next? And schedule your appointment and attend your session for this Coach Fast Track call. And then after that, then I will send you the intuition training videos. And then I also will send you the money training video. So that's after you attend your one-on-one strategy session, which will be about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And when you get on this strategy session, you'll either be talking to Wayne or Ammon or Adam. So if you have any questions about this ahead of time, you're welcome to message my team. These three guys are awesome. They are just a joy to work with. I've worked with them for many years, and they are just a gem. They love people. They know how to help people. And so one of those gentlemen right there will be on the call to talk to you about where you're at. They're going to find out where you're at in your coaching business, and if there's something we have that can help you. You just now saw me for the last hour talking about this, trying to help you and where you need to really focus your time to develop yourself to be in a position for a $10,000 client. And so my 19 years of experience is here on the table to learn from. But you can jump on this call, you can schedule it, you'll go to the calendar, pick a day, pick a time this next week, and jump on the call. And when you jump on the call, they're going to ask you how you're doing, what you're doing, how many clients you have. Do you have your program? Where's your program at? And they'll be able to give you some great insight of what you can do next to move to the next level with where you're at. And then they'll tell you about the options that we have and be able to help you with, if we could help you, see if there's a connection there. But I just want to put that in front of you. If I am a type of coach that you would like to have in your life, then schedule an appointment and talk to one of my team members. And it's not a pressure phone call. It really is like a discovery call. We want to know who you are, where you're at, what you're doing, and then how can we help you? Because that's what we're dedicated to do, is to be able to help you create results. That's the thing. That's what I care about. I take the education, apply the education. for you to have results, for your clients to have results. That's what I've been doing for 19 years, and I want to help you to be able to do it too. And if my vibe, my style fits you, and my humanness fits you, and you'd like to learn more from me, then take on these 3 action steps. And then after you attend your call, then my team will shoot you these videos, which are already done, ready to go. They're awesome. I'm very tickled and very happy with them because they give you very clear details of how to apply what to do next to improve your life in these areas. And so instead of writing books, I like making videos and doing webinars. Kind of fun that way. But yeah, if this interests you, go for it. You don't get these videos straight up front when you register for the call. It's after you attend the call. And if you, again, I'm going to say, I saw some names on here. If some of you are already in the, if you're already in the Coach Fast Track, this is for people who are not in the Coach Fast Track program. And so I hope you do this so you can get these videos. They'll be of great help to you. Beautiful. Okay, before we go, I got one last story to share. One last story to share. And it's called my 52-second story. And I really believe you're going to get some great insight from this. So this story, my wife and I we needed to get away. So we took our camper trailer and we went about an hour and a half away and went and camped next to a lake. And her parents also took their trailer. So we're camping next to each other, next to the lake. And nobody wanted to make dinner. So we all jumped in the truck and then headed to town for dinner. On the way back, it was like 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night. And we're getting back to the campground. Most people are sleeping, you know, it's a quiet campground. And I'm getting out of the truck and, oh, sorry, right before we got to the campground, I'm reaching into my pocket to find the key to the trailer. And I can't find the key. And so I said, Kim, do you have the key to the trailer? And she goes, no, you have it. And I said, no, I put it on the counter and I told you to grab it. And she goes, no, I didn't grab it. And I said, well, then it's sitting in the trailer. And she's like, oh, I hope we didn't lock the door. And so we get to the trailer, we get out. I walk up to the trailer. Sure enough, the trailer is locked. Oh no. And so the key to the trailer is inside the trailer and we have no extra key. And I don't know how to pick a lock. And so I'm starting to think, which window am I going to break to get into my trailer? Oh no. And so Kim, she's like, well, we need help. And I said, no, I think I can figure this out. And so she gets on the phone and she starts calling locksmiths at 11:30 at night. And she wakes this guy up. This guy wakes up and says, yeah, can I help you? And she says, hey, we're at this campground. We locked ourselves out. Can you come help us? And he goes, yep, let me get changed. I'll come help you. So I'm standing out in the cold. Kim goes and sits in her parents' trailer while I'm waiting for the locksmith. So this guy pulls up in a truck. He's kind of still in his pajamas. He just threw a jacket on. He pulls up. He gets out of the truck. He's got this black bag, this small little black bag in his hand. And he's walking towards the trailer. He stops, looks at it, unzips his bag, opens it up, selects this little metal tool, walks up, grabs the handle, sticks it in, wiggles it, unlocks the door in literally 52 seconds. By the time he got out of his truck, the door was unlocked in less than a minute. And I was like, whoa, dude, that was amazing. That was amazing. And he's like, yeah, okay, there you go. I said, oh man, so like, is this like $20? I think it's going to be like $20 because it was so fast. It didn't take him that much time. And he's like, no, it's 120. And I'm like, what? 120? I go, yeah, that was like less than a minute. And he goes, do you want me to lock it? I said, no, 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 no. I get out my cash and I pay him 120 and I apologized. I said, I'm sorry. I know we got you up and it's 11:30 at night and you drove here to the lake. I apologize for insulting you for your costs. They're valuable. And great job getting that done in 52 seconds. And he goes, yeah. He goes, people usually get upset. He says, but I know what I'm doing. He says, I've been doing this for years. And he says, once I can see what kind of trailer it is, I know how to get into the lock pretty fast, but it's still $120. So he did not drop his price the better he got. His price was still high. And to me, it was important and valuable. It was worth $120. $120 for 52 seconds. Is that worth it? And as I pose that question to people, like, would you pay $120? So if I said 150, I mean $120 for 52 seconds worth of work. Usually the person will say, well, it depends what they're doing. And at that point, it was super important because my wife wants to go to bed and she doesn't want to sleep in her parents' trailer because all of our food and clothing and everything's in that trailer. We don't want to break a window. That'd be more expensive, but it's still, in one way of looking at it, was pricey for 52 seconds. But it's exactly what we needed. That is a coaching mindset thought. Be the kind of coach that you are exactly what somebody else needed. And then they ask you what the price is. It's worth it. When you're exactly what they needed. And then when you announce your price, they'll go, okay, I'll do it. And they kind of like, oh, okay, that's a lot. But you know what? It's exactly what I want. And it's worth it. And then they get to experience your coaching because it's so precision. Because you've been working on yourself. You've been being a better student. And you know how to take information, apply it, and create a result. And now you do the same thing for them. You do the same thing for them. And so you get to be that kind of coach. And that's the journey you're on. That's the direction you're going. And if I can help you, if I can help you speed up the process, if I can help you pull yourself together, look at your content, fine-tune your content, if I can help you in any way to help you get where you want to go, then jump on and schedule a call and talk to my team. And if you decide to do one of my programs, my group coaching or my coach fast track coaching, which you'll hear the details about, if you decide to do that, I mean, right now, I'll tell you as an extra bonus, I'd love to give you like a 90-minute coaching session. So totally free, no cost, because I would just love to have some personal time with you and help you. And we can talk about anything, your content, your clients, your mindset. We can do that 90 minutes and within the next month, in 2 months, 3 months, sometime within the next 3 months, I will add on that personal appointment of 90 minutes. It would be an absolute joy to talk to you because I love getting into a coaching structure and the content and how you do it and how you teach it. And I could totally just take a look at it and help you and really help you see things that might take you a couple years to see it, of what to change or adjust. But yeah, if you talk to my team and you jump into one of my programs and you do it, then boom, tell them that I said this. You got to make sure you tell them, you're like, hey, Kirk offered this 90-minute appointment. I get with this too. And then, we'll get that scheduled and we can jump on a call together. Just like this, Zoom, we'll record it so you can have a recording and then you can listen to the things I coach you on and then you can take action on those and then really put yourself in a higher level position as a coach. Yeah, so that's extra if you'd like to do it because I would love to talk to you. Whatever stage of coaching you're in, wherever you're at. But you got to purchase one of those options. If it fits you, do it. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. If you listen to my team, you're like, this isn't working for me. It's fine. Totally cool. I'm not desperate. I don't have to have you in my life. I'm just here to help because I know what it's like to grow a coaching business and would love to pass on to you more personally how I can help you and how my team can help you. Cool. Okay, I got to go. All right. Thanks for being here today. Happy Friday to everybody. Hope your day is good. And if you need that link one more time, let me just grab that for you. But yeah, just go to 3ke.2/fast track, hold your appointment, and then you'll get those videos after you hold that appointment. So if you cancel the appointment, you don't get them. And if you schedule the appointment and you no show, you still don't get it. You got to hold the appointment, and my team will just answer questions and then tell you what we do, and then that's it. You'll be able to make a decision from there. My team's awesome. They'll take really good care of you. Just make sure you know what the page looks like when you go there, so you know that you're going to the right location. This is what the screen looks like after you go to. Oh, sorry. There's one other step. You go to 3k.2/fast track. It takes you to a page. Oh, takes you to a page. Then you click the bar. Oh, I didn't show you the picture. I forgot to take the picture. So there's one more step between here and the calendar. Is you're going to go to a page that talks about Coach Fast Track, but click the bar and then it takes you to the calendar. I can't believe I forgot that screen, but I will now adjust my webinar so it's ready next time. All right. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Step into being a better student. You're going to become a better coach. Love you guys. Thank you. See ya. Bye.